How's it going, guys? I'm here to tell you why the RS Dash, is probably one of the best sim racing apps you can get. Let's go to it. This might be one of those "what are you talking about, Willis" moments, but it's actually how I feel, and it's actually been helping me quite a lot with my sim racing, especially when it comes to iRacing and things like that. So what we're going to do is I am going to take you into the extra bits I've already shown on various websites and whatnot. Well, not websites, but on various videos, which I can put links below on how to set it up and what it looks like. And when I did my recent wheel or rim update for the F1 rim, that's the actual dash that I'm using on there, so you can actually see how it works and different things. But that's not it. There's a little bit more behind this actual app than meets the eye, so I'm going to take you to the website and show you exactly what I'm talking about. So here we are on the website for RS Dash, which is actually called pocketplayground.net. So when you download the app itself is free, but then you have to pay for whichever games you want to work with, which is where the cost comes into it. But we're not talking mega bucks. The most expensive one is $4.99 and the cheapest one is $3.99, depending on what it is. But the good thing is you don't have to buy the actual game version, if you like. So it's one app, and then within that you've just got lots of different games, and you have to pay for each game. But if you've got the game on multiple platforms, so PC, Xbox, PS4, it will work on all of them. You only have to pay for it once. And the only other difference is if you're doing it on PC, you just have to download a bit of software called RS Transmitter to transmit the data. But anyway, the website. So, for example, I've been racing a lot on iRacing recently, and you kind of think, well, what's it doing in the background? Because you have to create an account and different things. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go in here. You've got a little few bits of stats down at the bottom here. And this is basically how many sessions done, races, and that's just overall. And then you've got your own personal statistics there. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to go on to race history on the left. This is going to go to my race history. And what you can see here is all the different races that I've been doing recently. So at the minute I've only got up to 20 races here. And what it's doing is it's picking up racing, qualifying, practicing different things. So when I just fancy just going on and just banging a few laps out, doing qualifying and actually doing a race on iRacing, it's logging it all here. And it's even got the session, the time, what game it's on, the session type, what track it was on, the car it was on. You can export the data, you can edit it, and all sorts of things like that. And it does do it for other games as well. I've actually shown only 20, but I've actually got 90 items, so let's just do the whole 100. I've been using this app for quite a while, and what you'll see as we go down, I start to get Forza Motorsport 7. It doesn't give you as much details because it's just the nature of that kind of game. And what we're going to do is we're going to click into a few and just show you why I think this is really good, and people are missing a bit of a treat here. So I'm going to go on to the more recent ones, and then we'll have a look at Forza 7 afterwards. So I'll go on my most recent Donington race in the BMW M8, which is my best result yet, but you know, whatever. So what we're going to do is just click on view session, and then it's just going to load up all the data. Now, the problem that we've got here, well, not problem, well, as you see as we're going down, there'll be a few bits of data that is missing, and there's a couple of reasons behind this. One, it depends on what API data the game sends to the app, and the other thing is it depends on the race type. So the BMW and the F3 Dallara, the two that I'm racing on at the minute, they are actually fixed series, which means that there are certain things that aren't going to fluctuate, like track temperature and things like that. But I digress. We'll see it as we're going through. So straight up, it's got the race bits at the top. You can put some notes in, how well you did, how well you didn't do, 21 miles covered, things like that. Then you've got the race result. So my starting position was 13. I had an issue qualifying, as you can tell. And the race time, my fastest lap, and then my fastest sectors. And then we'll scroll down, and then you've got your lap chart. So it's 11 lap race, and my fastest lap was on lap 9, and my fastest sectors were a little bit kind of all over the place, if you like. My fastest overall lap came here, but if you put those two together, I'd have probably got shaved 2/10 off that, so more like a 106.4 something. You can see my race position as I go up through the race. So basically started 13th, made up a few positions because everyone's crashing, went to 6, and then went down to 7. I think this is a guy that spun out and ended up trying to recover his race. Highest gear, highest RPM, the amount of time on full throttle. So the first lap, you're not at full throttle for quite a lot of it because crashes, different things like that. And then obviously as you get through the lap, and depending on traffic, you're at full throttle quite a bit. So my highest is 54%. Scrolling down, you can see it in a graph if that's your thing, and you can see all the data there. Damage levels, again, because it's a fixed series, I don't think there's much, if any, damage on here, although you can get damage, or you can at least take you out the race and whatnot. So I was probably just fortunate that I didn't get any damage. The tyre statistics, it kind of stays the same. Again, this is because it's a fixed series, so they turn certain things off, like the weather static and whatnot. So that's why my tyre pressures and my tyre temperatures are remaining constant throughout the whole thing, but they will fluctuate. Tyre wear, you can see here that it does start to wear. We got to about 4%, but it's only 11 lap race, and again, there isn't factors that are, changing this for us. Ambient track temperature, again, it wasn't on. Average lap speed, which is quite interesting to see, your average RPM and gears, and then you've got your fuel as well, which is really handy, so you can see how much fuel you're actually using. Now, although fuel isn't a factor and you don't have to fuel your car up on this, it is still gauging how much fuel you are using. So I'm using roughly 1.5 litres per lap, which is quite interesting, because if you were to do some, say, practice sessions and you want to know, what your lap average is and things like that, you can work it out here. So it's really, really good and really interesting that you can go into here and really dial in. So the other thing is leaderboards. There's some analysis things that are coming and different things, but let's just go back into race history. I'll just show you another couple of examples here. So let's just pick a Dallara F3 race. I haven't done too well in these are a little bit crashy, but you can go into here. Again, it's exactly the same information, it's just how it's presenting itself. So you can see I must have spun out there or something, because that's quite a high, what's that, another 12 seconds on that one. But it's all there, and there's no other apps like this. A lot of the other apps that I've used, that like your sim dashboard and things like that, are great, and it gives you a rev counter and different things, but does it actually do this for you? What this app actually means is that you could turn it on and set it to one side, and it's logging your data for you. So then if you're doing a 24-hour, 12-hour race, whatever, and you know that fuel comes into it, tires comes into it, different things, you can bang in a lot of practice in, and then it's actually going to show you, where you're doing well, where you're not doing well. Or if you want to just try and get a good lap in, and you can go through it and analyze it. And this is kind of stuff that, on a very, very basic terms, what F1 drivers and real drivers, IndyCar, maybe NASCAR, anything that's got stats on it, this is what similar to what these guys are looking at. We'll just go back to race history, and I am just going to show you a Forza one, just to see what I'm not actually looked too much into the Forza stuff, but let's have a look. This will be, that's a Tuesday, we've got a Sunday night one. Let's try that one, because this will be a DOR, and I think it was actually Steve that's from DOR that actually got me onto this app, which is really good. So as you can see here, it's got your fastest laps, the class of car and different things, but the data isn't quite as in-depth as it is. I haven't got any Assetto Corsa Competizione on this, unfortunately, but it does work with that. But as you can see, because Forza doesn't send as much data back, it's not giving us as much stuff. It's telling you the class, it doesn't even tell you the car name and different things. Whether this is going to improve over time, I don't know. But it is just interesting to see that the amount of different games that use with it and what you can do with the data. You can click on the car as well, and it's going to tell you a bit more about the actual car, how many laps you've done, so you can actually dial into the car itself, which is really interesting. And then what you can do, you can go to leaderboards, you can select your game. So let's go iRacing, let's select I don't know, what track shall we go to? They're currently at where are they at the minute? They're currently at Zolder. I always want to put an A, don't know why. And I think it's the Grand Prix circuit. Circuit Zolder, and yeah, the Grand Prix one. This is the BMW one. So let's click on that. Let's pick that BMW. There we go. Session type. Let's do, I don't know. Let's just leave it on combined. And there's nothing. These are my records. So I haven't actually banged a time in, but I didn't know if the leaderboard was going to actually show something here that we... let's go to Donington. So it's the national circuit. Doesn't say national for some reason. There we go. So because I've actually raced in here, it actually has put me somewhere on there. So Zolder, because I've not put a time in, it hasn't actually brought anything up for me. But you can see the fastest lap is a 102 in the BMW, which is a flyer of a lap. And I'm 17th with a 106, which isn't too bad, in race trim as well. And I'm, about just under 5 miles an hour slower. So it's interesting, just to compare yourself like that. There's also this analysis demo, which isn't available yet, or it's a premium feature. So this demo is provided a preview for new premium feature that is in development for some time. It's 3 laps of sample data from Project Cars 2, the Bruno circuit in the GT3 car. The feature provides the user with detailed view of their driving, allowing them to compare laps and determine whether time blah 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 blah. So basically, this is something that's coming soon, and obviously it looks like you're gonna have to pay for it, but you can see where your throttle is, your brake, you've got the track, and you can actually go to, I think you can go reset zoom, but oh, here we go, look, you can change the actual lap and it shows you different bits, where you're hot, where you're not, the gear, the speed, lap counter, and all things like that. And it's actually got the little bit of a map, and it's crazy basically what they're trying to implement into this. So basically, guys, if you are wanting to try and improve, or just interested in your overall statistics, I'm sorry I've waffled on a little bit, but you need to just go onto this website, or get yourself an app, copy of the app, pay for one game. If that's the only game you pay, then fair enough. And like I say, you don't even have to have it. You have to have, obviously have to have it running, but you don't even have to have it in eye shot. You could just put it to one side, let it run, let it capture your data, and then you can come into functions like this and see what's cracking off, and you can add friends and all things like that. And it's just, in my opinion, really good. And I've actually used this quite a bit recently, because I went onto it just to see what was there, and if I could see my fastest lap time. I was like, wow, there's so much more information here. So that'll do it for this video. Again, sorry if I waffled on a little bit, but I just thought it was quite interesting to get out to everyone. If you have liked this, a thumbs up would be greatly appreciated. You're going to see some stuff at the end of this video, which is going to be where you can subscribe. You can also see my latest upload, and then YouTube is going to randomly pick the next best video for you that I've done, as far as I'm aware. Who knows? So until next time, guys, I'll see you all on the next video.